Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? It's time again for the knife of the day. No, this is not a repeat. No, this is not a repeat. These are the Sprint Run Jigged Bone Enduras. I have done a video on the Jig Bone Delicas. Go check that out. But today we're looking at the big fellas. And I love these knives. I just love them. If this is the first time you've been to the knife of the day, I do this every single day. We're going through my entire collection, knife by knife, day by day. We're starting right now with the Spyderco Collection. I've decided to start with the discontinued knives, and then we'll move through the Spyderco Collection. I don't know, close to 300. I'm thinking maybe a little less. I'm thinking maybe a year and a half to go through the entire collection. Chris Reeve, Browse Blades, those two are huge collections. Also, everything. All right, all of my knives, the customs, etc. That's what we're doing every single day. There's a playlist if you want to catch up. But these knives are just great. Now, I have a number of collectible knives. We're at, what, over 75 knives already. They're all discontinued collectible knives. But I love these jig bone knives. Now, I'm 57. I remember jig bone knives, and I know they still exist. But when my grandfather pulled out a knife, a pocket knife, it was jig bone. I love what Spyderco has done with this. Now, what they did was they took their Delica and their Endura and did a sprint run with these wonderful materials. Now, a sprint run for Spyderco is a one-time run, usually about 1,000 knives, plus or minus a couple hundred. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. So they're limited edition. These, of course, are discontinued. So you know about the Endura, right? The Endura is one of the most popular knives that Spyderco has created and they sell, along with the Delica. This is the small knife that's the most popular. Here's the big version of it. Usually you see these with FRN scales, fiberglass reinforced nylon scales, tough plastic scales. You can beat them up. You know, you usually see them on someone's workbench, you know, just beat to hell, but a wonderful knife with VG10 steel. So I love the fact that they took this working man's knife and made it into a gem. So let's talk about it, okay? Let's start with the blade. This is the first time that someone would say, let's start with the blade because it's the least interesting. Because on this knife, the blade, the handle, there's nothing that's least interesting. So when you talk about the Endura, this is the big standard for Spyderco. 3.8-inch blade. The edge is about 3.5 inches, just under 3.5 inches for the edge. Now, when you open this knife and any Endura full open, it's about 8.75 inches, 8 3/4 inches long. It's a big knife, okay? But the profile of the Endura and the Delica is, it's a thin big knife or a thin small knife. Now this blade is really special, and Spyderco does this with their Damascus blades. Together there are 31 layers of steel to make up this blade. The core is a VG10 core. That's one. And then on each side, there are 15 different layers of steel. Some of them are stainless, rust resistant, some of them not, but 15 different layers to help protect it and to make it look nice. The pattern is a Japanese pattern it's an art pattern, a Japanese art pattern that represents a drop of ink in a flowing river. But what a wonderful blade, right? Just beautiful. Real nice, cuts well, VG10 steel. So it's a usable blade, but it's beautiful as well. And then we have to talk about the handle, folks. Oh, now just like the Delica Sprint Run, the Endura is in blue and honey brown. And they are just beautiful. The handles have titanium bolsters. These are titanium bolsters. One colored blue, one colored gold. And then I just love the jig bone. The blue jig bone isn't as textured when you go to the Enduras as the honey. The honey, a little bit more grippy, different. Can you see the difference? The blue is not as grippy, but still just as beautiful. Stainless steel, full stainless steel liners. They have jimping going up the blade. And look at the spine. I love the work. It's not enough that you're giving us these great materials and they look great. But because both of these are very strong backlock knives, that lock, it snaps into place. I mean, this isn't just a purdy knife. Spyderco built it to work with that strong lock. But look at the lattice work on that back spacer. That's just beautiful. Remember, this isn't a custom knife. And then on the back, the same. I love the smoothness of it all. They rounded everything so it feels just perfect in your hand. I don't know if you noticed or not. There is no clip. None. Zippo. No pocket clip. I'm lucky because I have about 59 Chris Reeve knives and they all come with leather sheaths. So when I carry these, whether it's this one or the Delica, what I do is I put it in one of my leather Chris Reeve sheaths. Doesn't come with a sheath. I understand why they didn't have a clip. One thing I hate sometimes the Spyderco does is they want to force the 4-way clip because they sell better. Everyone wants variety. And you've got, a bunch of holes in a bolster like this and a bunch of holes, in the handle. And it just looks like crap. And I guess they figured, look, we're doing this. Why, why put a clip? I think they could have put a clip. I would have put a clip right hand, tip up, stay away from the bolster. You could even do it twice. But for me, I'm okay with that. This isn't an everyday knife. But when you have a big knife like an Endura, come on. Probably need a clip. For me, though, even if it had a clip, I would put this. I usually have one of my knives in a sheath. I would put it in a sheath, drop it in my pocket, and clip my smaller knife. What a nice knife. So, we talked about it when you have all those materials on it. Big knife, 3.8-inch blade, 8.75 inches total. This jig bone, it feels so great in your hand. It brings the old school to modern technology. And it's 5.2 ounces. Is that heavy? Yes, but it doesn't feel that heavy given everything. Titanium bolsters, everything that you've put on. Full stainless steel liners. But man, what a beautiful knife. This, my friends, is the companion to the other video that we did weeks ago. This, my friends, is the discontinued Sprint Run Damascus knife. You see them come up every now and then on the secondary market. I think all of them that I've seen have been in great condition. I was lucky enough to get perfect conditions for both the Endura and the Delica. I surprise people when I'm showing them at my home, my collection, and I get to these and there's oohs and ahs and they pick them up and they love the weight of them. They just love it. And I tell them probably at some point when I'm getting ready to get my van and travel around, most of my collection will go. And I said, I actually will probably keep these. And they said, yeah, they're collectors. I go, no, I'll probably use them as users, as an old grandfather. I could, it reminds me of my grandfather. No, he didn't have a Damascus blade. These are really working knives, but beautiful. No one in their right mind would be hammering on them right now. But I could see in my van having some fancy knives like these. Everyday fancy knives. I just love these pair. This, my friends, is the knife of the day. It's the Spyderco Endura. I know it's not a repeat. I have a full video on the Delicas. Again, this is the knife of the day. We're going through the Spyderco Collection. No, we're going through my entire collection. All 4 Pelican cases. 3 1550s, 1 1600. If you're enjoying this walk through the collection one knife at a time, one day at a time, show your likes. Thumb it up. It's a applause. I do this before running off to work late. And I really appreciate knowing that you guys appreciate it. Don't forget to share. You can share the link with people. Let people know that it's out there. Also, subscribe. About 60% of you loving the videos, but you don't hit that free subscribe button. Hit it. It really helps me. And turn on your notifications. New knives are coming out all the time. I still got that fever. Nah, sickness. Yeah, I do. So more knives will be coming, and I'll give you my first impressions of them. Hey, you guys, have a perfect day. People go, perfect? Nothing's perfect. Well, you guys know what I mean when you get home and go, this has just been a perfect day. Have one of those, okay? Whatever that means to you. Keep your pockets full. Goodbye.